before you take off, or email me, I guess. Either one. First of all, sorry about last month. People I know from a long way, sorry.
I got word.
What's that?
I got word that you weren't going to be here.
Oh, good. I tried getting it out for guys like you that.
Yeah, I think we came anyway.
Okay, good. So, sounds like a good topic anyway.
Well, we knew there's beer at 5/8, so we
That's
got
good.
wanted to drive out.
Worth the drive.
200-mile trip for beer.
Yeah, down in Marshall.
We're out, we're out.
Yeah, out. Then today, once you know it, I felt pretty good about 3 days after last month's meeting, and then today I woke up with a little tingle in my knee. As the day went on, it got worse and worse. By 2 o'clock, I could hardly walk again. It's like I went home. So I'm here, said I can't do it again. I'm not doing it again. So I'm fully medicated right now. I probably shouldn't have.
A chair to sit on?
I may start slurring and doing things, but we'll see how the painting goes. But,
Well, my wife
Might be
today had
loose.
cataract surgery,
oh, really?
and so everything went fine. We're sitting there tonight, we had supper, and her tongue turns now.
Oh,
So, that's no side effect at all from the doctor's
Oh, really?
office, so we called, because it says, call if there's any unusual effects or
Yeah.
anything.
yeah.
The guy says, I don't know.
Wow.
She said her tongue's feeling better now.
Good.
You want a chair to sit on?
I'm okay. Yeah.
No.
Um,
Well, that could be-
Kissing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Throwing French kisses with the dog.
Yeah, I got that problem too. It's too close to him. You really get one.
And go have prostate surgery, you don't worry about it.
Okay. Everyone ready to go? I'm going to talk about puddle duck hen feathers painting. And, you know, each species is a little different, so you want to pay attention to your reference and color tones and such. Like the mallard hen has a lot of sienna where it's a little more orange. But you can, you know, think about hens, they're all over the place. So, you know, but check your reference. Markings may be different, inner markings. Like, for example, like the pintail hen or breast feathers, they're kind of not as sharply marked as, say, like a mallard hen, where they got a little more definite markings. So check your reference on that from each species. But this will kind of give you techniques on how to paint some hen feathers. My basic start off. Now this is kind of a buff color. This color you don't want to sweat over too much. You kind of just want to get a starting base. When we're done here, that you really won't see much of this. It'll be in there, but it won't be the dominating color. This may be on the dark side, so this might be more of the tertial scapular region. So what I do is I paint the body. I kind of look at the hen as a whole. Generally the scapulars, tertials are darker than the side pockets, and then the breast is generally lighter than the side pockets, so you end up, and then the rump is even lighter yet. So you kind of keep that in mind when you're applying your base coats. I usually mix up 3 different values: a dark of this tone, a medium, and a light. And then the darkest I'll paint across the top of the decoy, and then the side pockets I'll paint kind of the medium color, and then the breast and the head and the rump, the lighter tone. But so I'll paint some scapular / it could be side pocket feathers. Are pretty much the same technique here. So what I've taken is a base coat here of burnt umber, raw sienna, and titanium white. And I'm using these Traditions paints right now, acrylic paint. And you could do this probably with oils or any Josonia, any brand of either oil or acrylic paint. So I got the base coat painted on a little practice board here. So my next step is I want to outline the outer edge with the light value. And my feather edges, I'm using basically the same colors. Titanium white, obviously more white. So it's kind of a lighter value. It's definitely lighter value. So I've got that mixed up there to save a little bit of time. So you can either just paint this on with a brush. Another thing that comes in handy, these are the Swiss made like watercolor type pencil. So you can draw on over your paint and water will take it away. But if you wanted to outline your feathers, draw feather groups patterns, and say you get off a feather and say, I didn't like the way that would look, just take a paintbrush with some water and you erase it. It comes right off. So you can draw, a layout here. I kind of drew some feathers on there. You can hardly see it. These, which is the thing you want. Just give you an idea. And you can get these in almost any color you can think of, all different shades, buff to brown. So you try to get something that's fairly close to what your feather edges are. So I've kind of just drawn on a group of feathers there. I have this light value. Now you can do this a couple different ways. I'll show you 2 different ways here. It's going to end up with slightly different results, but pretty similar. So I'm mixing this up. It's almost like airbrush consistency, very loose, watery. So I'll take a number 4. Brush here. So I can just gonna paint that on. So it's pretty watery, so it's not real heavy. Like so.
Now, is that paint really removing that pencil mark or just covering it?
It's covering it, so it's pretty much removing it. So, as you can see, the first one I did is pretty transparent, so I can go back if I want to darken it up, I can. It's okay to get that to go into the next feather like I got there, where this feather edge is kind of going into the one that's laying over it. That'll give you some transparency that the feather is laying underneath. Just going over it quick again. That's one way to do it with a paintbrush. Another way, if you want to use an airbrush with some stencils, I've got some stencils. I don't know if this is puddle duck can, I just found it, but it'll work. So it's basically, say, a recipe card or some heavier type paper. I drew feathers on them, cut them out with a knife, and you end up with these shapes. So I'll show you a couple feathers doing it that way. I'm just really it's hard to go back. Oils, I think you may have a chance to do it. You may know or any oil painters know better. But, want to run this back by real quick, or can you all see where we're at? Now what I'm going to do is, I've got a mixture here of a dark value. It's almost black, really. It's and it's the dark value. This is I'm gonna use for outlining the edges of the inner markings and the outside edge of the feather. Carbon black and white. So just a small amount of white. So it's almost a warm black. So what I'm going to do is I mix the paint up again pretty loose, almost like water. It's pretty loose. So you don't want to get too powerful. So I'm just going to go in and just going to outline these.
What brush you got?
This low Ferrell number 2. There. I'm going to use an airbrush for that. So what I'm going to do is kind of try to stay inside the feather edges, but I'm not going to